This is new script of blizzare amazing hate speech of Greta Thunberg about porn movie studios, how dare you. We are the best and only way to get your money is by making a horrible movie with terrible acting, sounding like an unprofessional job. I want my money back for all those times you screwed up that special project or made a mistake in producing it. Why don't you just go into business for yourself? Because you're not rich enough to do that. What's wrong with you? You should be able to find work if you wanted to. This is a shame, but people have been telling me so long that I had better start doing something else than working at a company where they were paying me little more than minimum wage. Well, I'm sorry that you've gotten old and can't take any more of these low-paying jobs. So I want to help you out there in some ways. Please let me know if there is anything I could do to make things easier for you. The last part is a plea for help from the man who has been in his position before and now wants to be able to do something about it. Next up is its own chapter. Chapter 3, The Academy. While not directly connected to the company, the Academy is a place that people may want to look into since it helps teenagers with potential in the arts field, especially acting, get their start and is heavily funded by the company. So if someone doesn't make it into one of these programs, they may still have a chance at getting a job since they got trained by the best. If they do get accepted, they get put into one of three categories. A. The ones who will become the new stars that the company relies on. B. The ones who will become supporting actors and actresses that help make the stars look good and get paid well in the process. C. The ones who will become background actors and actresses, who will help make the scenes look full and get paid just enough to get by. The people in Group C are considered to be on the borderline of not being good enough to make it, but still have a chance. If they do not get chosen to be in the next Academy program, then they will be let go from their contract and have to try to get a real job to support themselves. The people in Group B are somewhat in the same boat as Group C, except they have shown enough promise and gotten noticed by the directors enough times to not be considered a complete failure. If they lose enough fights against people in Group C, then they will get demoted to Group C as well. The people in Group A are competing with each other to see who gets to take up even less space than Group B and get more airtime, awards, jobs and recognition. The program lasts for 2 years and is completely self-sufficient. Everyone gets their own single-bedroom apartments that they have no choice in decorating. Since it has to follow a standardized layout, they have to pay very low rent for their apartments as well as pay for food, which is bought from a company with the main purpose of selling to the Academy and making a profit, so the food is more than enough for everyone. They also have very limited contact with the outside world, phone, internet etc., though anyone who has been accepted into the Academy can have one person come and visit them in the time that they're there. The program itself is fairly strict on when they can sleep, how much time they should be practicing their lines, what they should be practicing their lines with, mostly their bodies, and so on. If someone is caught breaking any rules or doing anything not allowed, they are taken to the consequence room, where they are strapped into a device that bores holes in their back with drill-like objects, has their hands crushed in a device that crushes spoon after spoon, has their face smashed with a hammer-like object, has their legs broken by having heavy weights dropped on them, and lastly have their fingers cut by rotating blades. It's not a pretty sight, but it gets the point across of no bullying once someone graduates from the program, either by completion of the program or reaching a certain age they are free to pursue whatever they wish. Most of them tend to go back home since they're at least a little bit richer and more famous than they were before. Some of them stick around since their families still live here, and others leave to find work in other places. The real professionals are of course always in demand and will never really be out of work, but if someone wants to become a star then they still have to move to the city. Most people tend to come here around the time they turn 16, the age when most people can get a job with no real issues, so that they can get the best education possible before entering the workforce or going to college. There are of course dorms for anyone who doesn't have a place to stay, very cheap, but not free, though it's not that hard to